Hello everybody, welcome to Time Traveler's Coin Exchange. We're going to now do episode 17 of The Coin Vault Has Opened. Ooh, we've had 2 episodes already today. Let me get my camera set up here. Get a box. So I just opened up another box here. It looks like I'm seeing 1930s to 1950s. And so first we're going to just take a look through the front and backs. I put these coins away for various reasons. Either they were a little bit better condition, or I thought they might be heirs, or just anything that just kind of stood out. And some of them were just inventory. This one looks like the wheat stem has been crushed on it. But any ones with mint marks, I'm going to put aside in a pile for after we look through them. And any coins that look like they might have something interesting going on, I'll put in another pile. And we can see if we can verify what we're looking for. So far, these ones just look like they were a little bit better than average coins from the 30s. There may be nothing special about them other than they were better looking than most of the coins we were looking at the time. But in the last stream we did have quite a few RPMs, which was kind of cool. And so first, after we go through we'll go through them all, take a look, and then we will take a look at any of them that we feel like we need to take a look at closer. And then any ones with mint marks on them, we will go back and check those out and see if we can find any RPMs, and we'll also be able to look at the dates while we do it. But so far these ones are looking like from the 20s and 30s here. They're looking pretty straightforward. They're just a little bit better average from most of these were probably found in 5,000 count unsearched wheat penny bags. I'm guessing those are little rim dings on them. They almost look like little baby cuts, but I actually feel like I can see on the rim that there's a little bit of damage. So I don't think that one needs further inspection. I didn't find a lot of, hey Spanglish 24/7, welcome. We're on the 3rd stream of the night. We've been streaming since about 6 o'clock, and I think I have just enough time for another episode tonight. So we're probably going to go to just about midnight, maybe a little bit later than that. But we're getting a little bit better at spotting RPMs when we're looking at the ones with mint marks. And so hopefully we will find some more. How is your night going, Spanglish 24/7? And so I'm not seeing anything necessarily special about this one, but we'll put it in the mint mark pile. Hey again, Paul, welcome back. My multitasking friend. Have you found anything cool tonight? You've been saying you've been multitasking, and so I'm imagining that you are looking for some cool coins yourself, and maybe checking out a couple channels as well. This one looks like it's got a little bit of a weak strike. The O on 1 is not quite complete, but it's got a mint mark, so we'll check out the mint marks. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing way better than I was. I woke up feeling very, very sick today, and it was a little bit disconcerting just because they had diagnosed people with coronavirus here in Humboldt County. And they're not giving out any information other than there are a few of us in the community that are very sick and confirmed to have coronavirus. But I'm hoping that I just have a cold here. I'm a little out of focus. See if that... See if I can get it myself. There we go. Almost. My camera's playing tricks on me. There I am. But yeah, I started out today rough. And I went to bed early last night. I actually got all my work done, so I was going to be able to pull off the impossible and do a stream when I said there's no way I could. And I think I've just been burning the candle on both ends, trying to make these streams happen this week. I didn't think I'd be able to stream on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday, and we pulled off Monday and Tuesday. And I don't know, we got most of the impossibles done, but gonna try to go to bed by about midnight tonight. And thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay safe. I think I'm just gonna make as many YouTube videos as I can, and go and stockpile some food at the store, and just take care of myself, because that's really the best thing you can do when there's, if it's the flu or the coronavirus or even a cold, just take care of yourself. And so this is the plan. But if I disappear from the YouTube, I highly recommend you guys, once it's all blown over, check storage auctions in the area here. If I disappear, only thing that's going to make me disappear here is if I'm dead. And it's kind of hard to pay your storage unit fees if you're dead, so do check out storage auctions in this area if I ever disappear. You might be very happily surprised. But I'll stay safe. I'll stick around. It's been one of those things where it's like I hoarded all these coins and put away all these coins, and I thought I was going to retire off most of these, but as I've found, a lot of these coins have been cleaned. You fell asleep going through your halves. I have a feeling I've been putting people to sleep on this, on my channel, because like oftentimes by the end of the stream there'll be like 5-6 people in the stream, and everyone will be quiet. And I'm like, oh no, I made everybody fall asleep. I remember when I was streaming games, I would stream for sometimes 20 hours, and I definitely was like nearly falling asleep just playing the game, doing good, but totally an autopilot. Looks like we've gone back to 1917. We've got a Denver mint here. It looks so worn that if there was an RPM on this one, I don't think I would be able to spot it. I'm like a virgin RPM hunter. We've got a 1918. So it looks like we have seen something from every decade now. We've seen teens, 20s, 30s. Maybe we haven't seen 40s. I can see a 50. Here we have, this one is a 1919 P. It almost looks like it's a lamination error across the entire coin. I don't know if this would count as a wood grain, only that it looks more like a lamination just across the entire coin. Take a look at the reverse. The reverse is much the same. I mean, it's not really chunky, it's not really missing spots like a lamination. I feel like a lamination, there's usually like cracks. Maybe this is more of a wood grain. It just reminds me of, I mean, if we look at it up close, maybe all those darker spots are deeper. But it's kind of interesting. I kind of like this one. I wouldn't mind finding some more of those. Hey Mom, Michelle, welcome. Hey, thank you, Spanglish. I try to talk when I'm looking through these. I try to explain. I did notice when I started to get to the place where I'm looking at RPMs, I feel like I got a little bit more quiet. I think because when I'm zoomed in, there's a little bit less to talk about on the coins. It's more of, I think I see one. I think I see, is that one? I'm not sure. I have never seen one like this before. But this 1919, it's got a couple scratches on it, but it's, and you know, a lot of the detail on the higher devices has gone, but it's actually got, you know, extremely clear date and liberty and in God we trust. Even has a few wheat lines on the back. Definitely better. Like, I mean, I used to get 5,000 count bags of teens. Um, and most of them were so very worn. I was like, oh wow, these are all teens, I'm gonna find something good in them. And I felt like I would find a couple mint marks that were barely legible. And I guess my recommendation is, like, don't buy a bag of 5,000 count teens, because they've all been gone through. It's like, they seem like every single bag I went through like that it was like culls. Like most of them weren't even gradable. They were like almost good at best. And the ones that did kind of look nice, I now know that they were cleaned. So this one, it looks like when we get to the RPM section, it's actually going to be a little bit less. This one looks like it's been cleaned. Maybe a little rim damage as well. Almost seems like the rim, I must just be flat, but this coin is way too shiny for the amount of wear on it, at least in my opinion. I definitely found that I put away a lot of these coins just because I didn't understand how they could be so shiny and yet not be in mint state. Hey wild nature lover, hey neighbor, welcome. Good to see you. I love your videos. Like, they're so peaceful and they remind me of home. I like the quotes that you put on your videos too. This one almost looks like it's older than it is, but it's just a 1940s. A lot of good people in here tonight. The first stream I did at like 6 o'clock today, it was kind of quiet, and I never, when I come on a Friday or a Saturday night, I never expect anybody to come in. I know that there's a lot of big channels out there. And the first one was quieter, but the second one seemed to pick up. But I gotta get through all these. Like, this is gonna take me like a lifetime. So let's see, no mint mark on this one, so we're not gonna need to look closer on it. Did you hear the coronavirus is in Humboldt County? It's kind of scary. You saw me at Murphy's and at school. Oh no. Yeah, it's a small town. I thought that was hilarious running into you. I can't remember which stream I ran into you on to begin with. But I was like watching your videos and I was like, that I know that place. I know that place. Wow, that's really crazy. It was just I had been going all over the world on YouTube. And this one looks like it's been cleaned and it's got beautiful fingerprints. Might be me. And hopefully not. I try to be careful with these. But then I get to one of the videos and I'm like, oh, that's the beach below my house. That's crazy. It was like I'd been like in like North Africa, like at one second, then I was in the Philippines, I was in Brazil, I was in Hong Kong, like I'm just like one place after another, just, checking out different people's videos and like seeing what people share on YouTube, and then I'm watching videos of like my town. I'm like, cool. I'm like, I could watch this all day. This one is kind of brown. It looks like there's a little wear, so I'd probably call it almost uncirculated AU. It's got a little crud in it. Just a little crud. It's just a little disconcerting. Our healthcare system up here is not the finest in the country. And when I hear that there is coronavirus in our town, I'm like, yeah, Like, I don't know, I try to stay out of the hospitals here. I'm afraid I'll get something more than I go in there for. So I try to stay, I try to stay healthy, stay out of there. Which unfortunately I woke up this morning with a cold, but fantastically I feel almost better, which is amazing. It's like, it must have been like a 24-hour. When I started the first stream, I was like just starting to feel better, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream tonight, so I'm like, I'll just try one. And here I am on my third one, so I must be doing better. Got some like mint honey lemon tea, and it feels good. This one looks like it has some toning on it. Maybe I can make some colors pop. Unfortunately, my camera doesn't like making colors pop. But it looks like it's mainly red-brown, kind of a little bit of purple. I think this one had a mint mark, so we'll put it in our mint mark pile. Yeah, your videos, Wild Nature Lover, like totally I'm like, I feel like I love what I do, so I don't want to change what I'm doing, but I'm like, I could just set up a camera in the redwoods in my backyard, and I could, like, you just seem like you're doing really well on your stream. Every time I go there, there's people watching and appreciating it, and I'm like, I could just work on another project while people watch the redwoods. I'm like, I'm doing this all wrong. I will drink some more water. It is good. I got some bubbly water. It makes me feel good. Everybody around me started drinking the bubbly water, and I'm like, that's not so good for hydration, but I somehow got addicted to it, so oh well. It's kind of nice. The drinking water here is actually pretty good. I think I was watching someone else's videos the other night, and they had like a telescope on the moon, and I was like, that seems like it would be a really cool, I guess maybe the telescopes these days can track the moon in the sky, but I thought that would be a cool stream to do. Like after I like signed off for the night here, I could just switch the camera to the night sky, and in the day I could do redwoods. It's like go from like micro world of microscopes to like distant galaxies. Other than like that wood grain one, I don't feel like we've been finding too many that really require, excuse me, going up really, really close here. But I'm hoping that the people who came back from wherever they were and got the coronavirus here and have put themselves in self-quarantine, I'm hoping that they didn't travel all over the place. I'm hoping they haven't been to Murphy's. Hoping that they kind of knew there was a possibility that they had something and kind of tried to play it safe. Definitely not what anybody needs. $1935D. It looks like we got another one of those. Maybe we'll have more luck with this one. This one here looks pretty worn, but doesn't look like there's any damage on it. I mean, it's like nowadays, like I buy, ones of these that are in mint state that have their original mint luster. And so it's like when I was putting these away, they were like way better examples than most of the ones that I was finding. And so I thought, oh, these are all going to be worth a lot of money at some point. Let me, there we go. It's just kind of funny how things are with coins. Like, it's like you have to enter somewhere. I just wish that I had read the book, and I wish I had been on YouTube and learned more about coins before I bought 1,000,000 of them. Here, you can hear that in me. Sorry. And I feel like I need to maybe reposition the microscope here, because on my bars, I can see the bar. When I cough, it maxes out on the volume bar, and I'm like, ouch. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But at least I'm not coughing. At least it's not like one of those coughs where it's just like I can't stop coughing. That was the hardest thing when I like streamed and like had a cough. Is just like you can't just cough on stream. It's like horrible for it's horrible for you, but it's horrible for everybody else. Like really, really, really bad. Really sad. But the bright side is I'm feeling like 90% better. Like it came on super strong, and I'm feeling way, way, way better, which, definitely when you're reading about the coronavirus coming out, like it definitely cheers you up. Here's a 1909, the first coin of the series. It looks like this one stopped a BB. Maybe someone was using it as target practice. Definitely not an S mint mark, but we can check and see if it's a VDB. There's like a little bit of a... No, it's not a VDB. It would be there. I like how all the A's are like darker and the R's just all the little parts on. But this one is damaged for sure. I mean, I feel like people still love a 1909. And here we have a 1919. We're getting a good spread of the 9s. I see no mint mark. It looks very, very worn. Not super damaged. May have been cleaned. Some of the areas look quite a bit like almost like kind of too bright. Otherwise it could maybe just barely maybe be gradable, like as like an almost good, or like, and I'm gonna guess that's probably rim damage. It's possible that's a little tiny cud. I'm just guessing by the time a coin is this worn, that a little cud sticking off of it would have gotten worn down clean. We're definitely finding some older ones here. I know the first couple boxes we went through, the first couple episodes, like we were finding some coins all the way back to like 1857 and 1858. I definitely do some older streams. Last weekend I picked up, it's actually hilarious though, like I picked up a 1796, yeah, 1796 large cent last weekend. I might have that already, but I'm way behind in my graded coins, posting them on my videos. I need to get on that. But I think the oldest one that I have from the US, it's from the colonial days before the United States, and I think those are like 1788. But then I also have some like ones, I have at least one from the Iberian colonies, which were the Irish colonists, or at least the currency that they are using, and I think that's 1723. And so that's like the oldest kind of like US ones that I have. But it's funny, like it's when I get it and make a video out of it, it's gonna be me making fun of it. It's like, I spent money on this worn, flat, jagged piece of metal. Look how beautiful it is. Look at this flat piece of metal with no details on it. Like, it was kind of funny for like the Connecticut colony ones. I was like describing what was on it, And I was like, here, yeah, you can see the outline of the portrait here. And then I flipped the coin over and you could just barely see the portrait. And so, like, I had totally been, like, imagining the whole thing. I was actually looking at the reverse of the coin and describing it like it was the front. And so that made me laugh. But that B looks like rectangular in Liberty. It does not look like a B. It looks like a box. (1932) corrosion. I mean, this is a better date, but this coin is beat. So beat. Well, the back looks a little bit better. And I'm not even sure if there are RPMs there for that day. I mean, I think there's probably one for every year, but you can only get them on the Denver and San Francisco. And I think I collected the 1931s just because when I go through like bags and bags of 5,000 count wheat cents, you don't find any 1931s in them. There's not as many of them. It's like whenever I'd like make stacks and consolidate rolls, I would end up with like still not having any coins from that particular year. And this one has got some green corrosion on it, which I actually found out 2 days ago. You can actually remove like almost all the green corrosion. It's just the carbon spots it sounds like you can't get rid of. And I don't think I'm ready to start cleaning coins, and a coin like this it's not really worth cleaning. I mean, by the time it's got maybe if the coin was like perfect and there was just like a little tiny thing on it, then it's worth it. But by the time the coins are looking like these, I mean, there's probably not, I can see the mint marks on it, but if there are an RPM, a repunch mint mark, they're just going to be so worn out. Look at this one actually has some great details. There's like full lines in the wheat stalks, but it is just heavily corroded. This one's got some scratches on the front. Almost looks like it's more than just corrosion. Almost looks like a pen exploded on this one. There was some wear on Lincoln though. We've got a 1956 P. That's either a scratch or it could be a die crack on his head. Cracked skull, I guess is what it's called. If it is, it's pretty minor. A lot of the cracked skulls I've been pulling out from the vault, they've just been like 3-4 cracks, just spider webbed on his entire head. Yeah, it would take a long time to clean. It doesn't look like something that's just gonna like flake off easily. And I think that this stream is going to be a little bit easier when it gets to the end, because like the last one, every single one but like 3 coins had a mint mark on it, and this one I'd say it's about half and half. I was a little bit, I feel like it had been taking me about 1 hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours to go through a box. This one I like, at least on the front. It's got nice detail. It kind of has a wood grain pattern. I don't think that is cleaning. I mean, usually when a coin's been cleaned, it does have little lines on them, but these ones are all very fluid. Let's take a look at the back. Yeah, I'd say this is more of a wood grain. Almost kind of like tiger striped or something. I like this one a lot. It does have a little wear, like if you look at the wheat lines on the reverse, they're not full. But that one's actually a really attractive coin. Like I think they call them like woodies. And it's wood. They're called woodies for the wood grain pattern. It's like a improper metal alloy that they used in a lot of the older coins, and it just gives them this really cool texture. It's So this is another 1931, little environmental damage. I don't know, it almost looks like it's been polished. Things can look polished sometimes just from the wear. Seems like we've run into a stash of 1931 Ps. Doesn't actually look like I've got like basically two stacks to kind of pick from, and I don't actually see any. This one's the first one in a while. It's got a rim ding. It's got a little damage on the ring, but this is like the first one that I feel like we've seen with mint luster. This one is probably still considered brown. I almost want to say it's red-brown, but really all the spots that are red on it still, they're all either around the rim or around the higher devices. A little bit of environmental damage on it as well. Looks like the reverse is definitely a brown. There's just a tiny little bit of red still showing there. Yeah, I can only imagine like how long it would take me to clean all these coins. Like this one's got some green on it, and I didn't even know you could clean the green off of coins until like a couple days ago. I thought they were just done. But I mean, you should never clean a coin. Like if you ever have an old coin, keep it the way it is. You know, if you're trying to sell it to someone, like let them clean it. Especially if you've never cleaned a coin before. I've never cleaned, or at least like properly cleaned a coin. I've never cleaned a coin to sell it. I maybe have put a couple in the washing machine by accident. This one's got a little mint luster left, but it seems like when it's like you can kind of see on like his chin and on his cheek, there's just a little bit of wear. So even though this could be still a mint state at brown, I feel like this coin is probably considered AU just because it has a little bit of wear. It's circulated at some point. Yeah, and just going through all these coins is gonna like take me months. It's just kind of ridiculous. I almost feel like all these are in like little flips and stapled, and I probably should have, like 90% of these probably were never worth flipping. They were just way better than the other coins that I was seeing. And it's now for the most part, I just buy coins that have already been graded by a third party, kind of like one of these. And that one's not going to show up. That's not a good example, but more like, you know, like I'm not used to putting a coin up there, but it's like, it'll be, you know, this is like a bicentennial cent here, but it's like, I'll buy ones that are from, you know, the teens and 20s and 30s that still almost look like this. Not like this, because this is a mint, this one is like, this is a special proof, but it's basically, it's more like a mint state business strike coin like you'd find in circulation. But it's like, those are more ones, it's, you buy them, you know what the grade is, you know how much they're worth, and then you just have to come to a agreement with whoever wants to buy it. You don't have to go, oh, it kind of looks like an AU coin. No, it's mint state 60. No, it looks more like AU 58. You just have to figure out a price, and you don't have to like haggle the grade and then figure out the price. And so probably, like, I wish if I was to go back in time, kind of never buy any of these coins, never spend the thousands and thousands of days going through them all and pulling them out and flipping them. It was fun. You know, I guess I don't regret it in some ways. But as far as like financially, like buying them already graded And so I guess how I've come back around circle is after looking at so many graded coins, I feel like I can see a coin, know what the grade is roughly. Higher grades, it's easier for me to do. Yeah, I want to make some art out of tables. I was even thinking it would be cool to like tile a floor or a counter with them or a table. I've seen people make some really cool like kind of mosaic pictures with them. I see people like they take like the pennies with the different tones and they'll make a mosaic, and it'll look like something. Like people just have that eye that they're like, okay, a darker one here, a lighter one here. Wow, it's Elvis Presley. My goodness, that's so cool. Okay, that's just a hair. I thought maybe there was a lamination error. But it's like I've come round circle because I feel like I can, if a true mint state coin pops through here, I'm like, okay, I know what it is. But it's like back at the time, I'd look at this 1948 and I'd be like, oh, it's kind of bright. It kind of looks like it has luster, but no, it's been cleaned. If you look at it close, there's all these little scratches and pits, and the coin with all this wear would not still have the mint luster. It's like you can see the lines on it. The lines are almost full, but it's all been worn. It's like this whole field right here, it's all been cleaned. Maybe over here was cleaned too and it just toned. But I actually don't really feel like I even see any original, it looks like they actually cleaned the entire surface, everything. There's no mint luster hiding there anywhere. Like all the original coin is gone. I'll move these a little closer to me. And so say like a 1948p, I could probably get one of these in mint state 64 for under $10. Easily for under $10. Like I might be able to get an MS65 for under $10. And that's like in red condition, like full red. This one's got a little bit of red up at the top, but it's pretty much brown. And so it wouldn't be a red brown, it would be a brown. And I don't know, I'm looking at it. It doesn't really have any major damage on it. It's actually a pretty nice looking coin. It looks like there's a little scratch right there, maybe. Looks like that's floating on top. Little scratch on his head. There might be a little bit of wear, but it's probably somewhere between, I don't know, like the low mint state ones do still kind of stump me. Like I'm not seeing a lot of wear on it. I'm not really seeing any wear. It just looks like it's brown. I'm just trying to see if there's, so it's like, I would say it's at least MS60. But it does look like there's maybe a little scratches on his head. I know it's hard to say, but it's like I don't think that this would grade out higher than MS63 brown. So for me, it would be way easier to just buy a coin like that then I can sell. Like certified coins are way easier to sell. Hey, thank you so much for watching Spanglish 24/7. I hope you enjoy the movie with your friend. I will definitely try to be safe here. Definitely everything I do, it's always so that I can get back home and take care of my responsibilities. I'm definitely not a daredevil, and I'm not going to play daredevil with the coronavirus, that is for sure. I enjoy living, and I enjoy being around those I love, and so always try to make sure I come home. This one's probably, if it hasn't been cleaned, it's probably an AU. It's a little bit toned, kind of pretty. I assume this is wear, just because there's not a lot of, and not cleaning. But I really enjoy the tone coins. I think the one that I was going to show you it's a proof coin. This one's been graded proof 66 red by PCGS. the slab is super scratched up here, but the coins on, or the colors on it, it's like all like metallic everything color. It's a better date. I buy these untoned. I got this for basically the price that I normally would pay for just the grade, but this one has like rainbow toning all over it, and it's like crazy. And I apologize for the lights, like I know that they're blinding you guys, but hopefully it's like blinding and bedazzling you guys. I just didn't think, I pulled this one out to show you guys like a higher grade one, but then I was like, oh, this one's proof and toned and scratched, and it's kind of hard to see the details. But I was super happy with that coin. I don't know where the coin is, and it wouldn't come, but it did. It's always happy when that happens. Alright, next up. This one looks like it's been cleaned. It does look like it actually has a little color. It's kind of a purplish color. But it's like you can kind of see like that this was like kind of improperly. You can see they like probably a Q-tip came down this way, came down this way, came down this way. Probably like tap, tap, tap. Maybe we can see some more clear evidence on the reverse. It looks like they just kind of cleaned around the edges, and you know, there's all the little dark areas where the more original toning or colors are. But I'm not really seeing a lot of, I feel like we found a couple wood grain coins, but I don't feel like we've found any examples of like cool airs. But we haven't zoomed in to look at the mint marks yet, so maybe we'll find an RPM. And I'm trying to look there. Is that just the rim has been, okay, yeah, the rim has been damaged, but we are looking for extra chunks of metal. Sometimes they hide up at the top in the wheat ears there. Sometimes they're on the edge of the coin. Looks like Lincoln had an accident on his head, or is that just, that's cardboard. Okay. These are some messy flips. I bought the ones that said that they were dust free, but it doesn't seem to matter. Dust seem to love them. It's like they create static electricity, and the dust just zooms across the room and finds them. Sorry guys. Yeah, I will not do a fourth stream tonight. I will go to sleep after this one, and I will get lots of sleep and stay well and stay healthy. And then I'll be back for, like, I believe I have the entire weekend to stream. And so I plan on producing a lot of content for you guys. I keep saying I'll do it. I keep saying I have time this weekend. I try to stream every day, but I want to get ahead here. It would be really great to, like, I don't know, it's like I could like produce content like no problem and then like schedule it. But doing streams live just seems way more fun. I enjoy it a lot more. You don't have the advantage if like the stream goes south of being able to just delete it and start it again, but I guess I could always delete the stream afterwards if I wanted. I've never done it. I have started a couple short videos, like my 1-2 minute long ones that I do for the graded coins, and like I'll like trip over my tongue 2 or 3 times, and I'll just be like, you know what, I'm stopping, I'm deleting it, I'm gonna start it over, but only done that a couple times. Things don't have to be perfect. We're humans, we're all imperfect. Did I put everybody to sleep? Anybody still awake? This one looks like it has been cleaned. It's just so bright. So very, very bright. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to see that mint mark if we try. And I almost, no, it's got like a flat side. I was almost going to say it looks like a little tiny die chip at the bottom of that wheat ear. But it looked like some of the lettering got smushed and it looked flat, it looked shiny. I find oftentimes when like the coins get flattened or scratched, it just exposes the inside metal, and the inside is like way shinier than the metal that has been exposed to the environment. Seems like we ran into a pocket of 1946 Ds, which they do have mint marks, and I haven't had any luck finding any really cool RPMs with the Denver Mint, but they definitely do exist. I just, one of my plans here is on my off time when I can't make videos, is I'm definitely going to try to study up on different years and different types of RPMs and just different airs. Chuck at coppercoins.com, he's just a great resource. His website's a great resource, and I'm reading his book. I'm almost done with it. I just need to stop making videos and read. It's been kind of like my go-to thing when the power goes out, which it has quite a few times this year in California, not because of storms, but because the PG&E keeps turning off the power because they're afraid that it'll cause fires, which there have been some serious fires in the past, but whenever they do it, it's like we're hundreds of miles away from where they're afraid the fire is going to be. And for some reason they have to turn off like the grid to half the state because they haven't, well, this isn't rag about PG&E show. Not yet anyway. But boy, do you love them when they actually turn on the power. It's like, yay! I can stream again. When I used to stream video games, I swear it was like, I'd like get to my weekend and get to like where I could like make videos. This one's like so clean, it almost has like something like lacquered on the front of it. But coins like this confused me, but it was like I would get to the point when I could stream and I'd have the whole weekend, and then the power would go out, and then the power would be out like the entire weekend and would like turn on right before I had to get back to the rest of my life. It was kind of cruel. Kind of cruel. This one looks like maybe it's circulation, maybe it's a little bit of cleaning on the devices. The rest of the coin kind of looks like an AU brown. It's got a little bit of luster, or a little bit of toning going on the brown. It's kind of pretty. I find a lot of the coins around here, like if I leave coins just sitting on my table, they get kind of this like silvery purple sheen to them. It's just the way that copper seems to patina around here. I really kind of like it. If my coins were to like turn colors, like I'd be way happier that they turn like a blue silver color than like turn green or something. And when I say green, like that, like kind of like horrible corrosion that I keep saying, yeah, that coin has environmental damage on it. I'd much rather say, look at that beautiful environmental damage. It is just beautiful. This one has definitely been cleaned. I'm not even sure I mean, it looks like it was a nice coin. It's got great details. It does have a bit of scratching, but that is not its original luster. Kind of looks like it hung out in ketchup. Interesting. 1940s. It's just interesting. I know we looked at a couple different wood grain ones, and I'm not sure if this falls in that category. I mean, it has excellent details. Little tiny ding on the... I think that this is a wood grain one. It looks a little different. Like, I feel like the coins that we actually found in this one, I'd say it's like wood grains. Nice big scratch on it. I'm gonna be happy to go to sleep tonight. So happy. 1940s. A little bit of damage on it. We can put it in our mint mark pile. We will see if we can find an older RPM. I feel like all the RPMs we found today, they were all from the 50s. And I'm not sure if there just were more in the 50s or we've just had more 50s to look at. I feel like the last box we went through actually was 1953, 54, and 56. So that's probably some of the reason that we weren't finding any from the 40s. It's like a little extra piece of metal on the T there. I feel like that's the second one. I don't know if that counts as a die chip, but that is definitely extra metal on the T. It's like twice the width. So it's not, it kind of looks like it could be a scratch from one angle, but it was definitely raised up. It would pretty much look like the exact same thing if I put it under magnifying for you guys. Which it already is magnified, but if I magnified it even more, which we are getting close to looking at the other coins up close that we pulled out. I don't know if I should do these streams as half boxes, but we definitely seem to spend a long time on the boxes, and I feel like I try to do these as quick as I can while being able to show you guys the best details that I can. I'm sure when I roll hunted these originally, I did it a lot faster. But it was also a lot harder to see the coins. I mean, that's one of the reasons I actually have been wanting to go through these all, is that I'm afraid one day I'm not going to have as good of eyesight, and like I pulled these all out pretty much just looking at them with my naked eye. And I could read all the dates and like see things going on in the coins, and I'm just afraid that someday I won't even actually be able to do that. So far so good, but everybody in my family, they all wore glasses since they were born. I wanted glasses so badly. I thought they looked cool. I thought that only smart people wore glasses. I'm like, I want glasses, and kept going to the optometrist and saying things are blurry. And they keep saying you have perfect vision, be grateful. And I'm like, but I want to look smart. Kids, you're so silly. Alright, 2 more and then we'll zoom in. Dun dun dun. One more. Cheer. Yeah. Alright, 1918. Pretty darn warm. Looks like a little lamination error on the reverse, I believe. Hold on, I'm gonna cough. Tried to not cough into the microphone that time. looks like just a little lamination error, nothing big, nothing crazy, just kind of like a little crackle. That's why sometimes with the wood grain ones, I get a little bit confused between the two, because sometimes it'll look kind of like that design. But I guess I find the ones with wood grain cover almost the entire coin, and the lamination ones, it's like you can kind of see the little cracking, pitting. I guess since that is the last one, we'll just zoom in on this. So if anybody is watching that hasn't seen, hold on, I'll try to focus this without the light. Can I do it? Oh, that's actually a pretty good angle. But it's most of the crack has kind of been filled in here, and you can see it pretty much almost goes all the way through the coin. Kind of starts on this edge right here and moves all the way. It looks like maybe it doesn't quite go through, but it's kind of like it would almost be like a die crack if it went all the way through, but I believe it's the lamination on it. It's like the surface of the coin. So maybe we'll look at kind of these ones here. These are the ones that have, don't think I saw that huge scratch on it. But I believe this one is a wood grain. It looks a little bit different than most of the wood grains that I see. But it's still pretty cool. And hold on, that was a 40S. So we'll just check out the S as well while we're here. It's like the O looks like it's scraped too. And I'm not sure. I believe there's just kind of a scratch, and then there looks like there's like dust around it. Most of the RPMs that we have seen today, you could just see it when you looked at it, and this one looks cool. It's like the other direction, but it's like if this was like cleaning, like there just wouldn't be any of the detail left, and like definitely when we go to the reverse. Well, it does actually look a little, I don't know, I swear when we were looking at this one before, like you could see the details better. Maybe there's another one yet. Maybe I'm just confusing them. Alright, this is not that one. I think I wanted to check out the 9 on this one, just for some reason it kind of looked a little doubled. It's probably just machine damage. And then I think the last one was another wood grain, where it looked like it was like lamination error across the entire thing, but I don't think I've seen a wheat cent that like was just lamination error. It's kind of cool. It just looks all flaky. It looks kind of mosaic. And it is pretty worn down. I bet it was beautiful before it got all worn down. I still find it beautiful. Alright, so we can start looking for some RPMs here now. And most of these I feel like were older. And so we're gonna kind of run into issues with a lot of these older ones are gonna have like kind of like a lot of debris, and I'm not an expert at this yet for sure. Like most of the RPMs that we were finding earlier, let me see if I still have an example of one over here. Okay, yeah, so this is a basic example of what we're looking for. So this is like a 1954S. And it's a repunch mint mark. The number for this, well, let me wipe this dust off. So this one is a 004, I believe. That is what it looked like on both copper coins and Variety Vista. But you can see how the top of the serif, the top of the S, just splits off there. And I believe there's also like a piece of metal that comes like to the east of the S. There's like a little piece of round there. And then I believe there is another piece that we just can't really see very well because of all the gunk in there. But we found 2 more of these today as well in the last box that we looked at. And they're actually, at least one of them looked like it was in mint state or higher condition. So that's like kind of the basic idea of what we're looking at. And I found pretty much like a lot of stuff when you like first look at them will look like something can be something. But usually like, and I don't know all the different varieties, so like somebody watching right now could totally be like, you just missed one. That was so and so. Hey Trent P Fam TV Arcade Gaming, welcome. But for the lack of, or for the sake of time, for the most part, if we can't instantly see something, like instantly see extra metal there, it's probably not there. Hold on, let me try this one more time. So my camera just keeps losing focus. Maybe it's because I'm moving around too much. So we just went through the box here, and now what we're doing, we kind of went through and looked at all of the ones that were kind of interesting up close. And now we're just going through the reminders in the box. There's probably about 30 more. And we're just going to see if we can find a repunch mint mark that is just clear. No promises, but a lot of the coins that I put away in these boxes, there was something about them. Unfortunately, a lot of these ones are more worn, and since I'm not an expert at finding them and I don't know all the varieties, like the top of the serif on this one kind of looks like it's split, but it's also got wear on it, and so I don't want to be like, that's a RPM and like totally have it not be. I want to see something that's clear. Like this one is just going to be too hard. There's like gunk and dirt and debris. If there are ones that are maybes, we can put it in a maybe pile. This one's got a lot of debris inside it too. But there's probably quite a few of them that we just wouldn't even be able to see them if they were there, just due to the wear. This one's kind of interesting. There's definitely a bunch of debris, but there kind of looks like there's a line going straight down it. I can't see if there kind of looks like there's a little extra metal inside it. At the same time, this one is like totally has environmental damage. I don't know, I'd say that one could go in like a maybe, but I don't know what it is, and I don't even know if it is one. At least this one's in a little bit better condition to look at. This one definitely has like a little dink on the side. It looks like something struck it. I don't see anything just screaming at me, so I'm just going to keep moving on. Looks like there's a scratch to the north of it that initially caught my eye. See if I can get this better positioned under here. It's not screaming RPM for me. We're just going to keep on looking. This one just looks like it's been cleaned too badly. Does look a little interesting though. I believe that's just a reflection of the light. And it's also been cleaned, so it's possible that there is like a raised surface around it, because they essentially remove some of the surface by cleaning it. And that really makes it confusing for me, because yeah, it almost looks like it's like sitting on top of a raised area. But I think we're just gonna pass on that one. Hopefully we will get lucky and find something cool. It seems like a lot of Denver mints, and I wasn't having any luck with the Denver mints in the last box as well. But I'm also, after this stream, I'm definitely going to go and look at more examples of Denver mint RPMs. And one of the problems too is, like, I feel like a lot of the RPMs, it's just like in the corner. And I can't always see, I can't quite get that close. Okay, that's a piece of dust up there. I was feeling like I was seeing some interesting, just spinning it around, trying to look at it from different angles. I like how the 9 looks like it just goes all the way through Lincoln's coat there almost. I don't know, that one looks kind of interesting to me. There almost looks like there is like a little spike coming out of the D that kind of goes towards the 9, towards the tail of the 9. I know, I hadn't seen one like that. I'm just going to put that aside just because I hadn't seen anything like that. I move the microscope back, it's almost off the paper. This one has got some crud in it. I'd like to just see something that just screams. Like, this is one that I found out a pocket change the other day, and I believe it's an RPM. But it's like, I feel like this is like more like something we're looking for. And I haven't confirmed that this is an RPM yet, but I was just pulled out when I first started thinking, oh, I'll look for RPMs. I just pulled out all the change in my pocket and started looking at it, and I was like, oh, that's weird. That totally looks like one. What's the chances of that? And next up, it's a little skinny one. I find the little line on the top of it kind of interesting. I definitely need to check out more RPMs. I'd like to find like one of the ones there's like D over S, or like S over D, or like S over horizontal S. I think that would be really neat. Part of it is we need to know exactly what we're looking for, which is why I need to stop making videos and do my homework. I'm so silly, like, it's like I like doing something, so I just do it and do it and do it, and I need to slow down. I need to enjoy the ride. Take it slow. That is an odd looking D. I mean, I'm assuming that there's a little bit more. I think we have another 1932 D to compare that to. Unfortunately, excuse me, it's here's another one. Unfortunately, dun dun. Where are the damaged D's? Yes. I didn't think we were going to be able to see anything on there. Hey Cheeky. Cheeky A, welcome. We're almost done with this box. We maybe got about 15-20 more. We're just kind of, we are not professional RPM searchers. We did find quite a few of them today, but I don't know every single kind. And so I've just been kind of, if I see one like that's like obvious, I accept that it is, but if I'm seeing something that I don't understand or don't know if it is, I'm just kind of skipping it. Like this one looks like there's a little bit of damage to like the northwest, but then it almost does look like there's a little bit of metal, but then there's environmental damage, and I just cannot confirm nor deny this one. But we went through this entire roll. We went through this entire roll, and we're just we went through and looked at all the kind of cooler ones. See, this one almost looks like there's like a little line right under the date, and perhaps that's a scratch. But it's like I could imagine how that could be like a D over D or something. And it's like I almost feel like I see a little notch at the top. But what makes it harder about these coins that are circulated is that like they don't look exactly like the coins. But I'd say this is a maybe. We're going to put this in our maybe pile, and we're just going to see if we can find something else that kind of looks like it on either coppercoins.com or Variety Vista. So I'll put that in the maybe pile. Guys, let's volt in. This one's got a partially filled 9. So this one is a little bit, I can definitely see a little bit of damage on it. But then there almost looks like like you can see the clear top and bottom of the bright D, but then there does look like there is just a little bit of a D sticking out, and there looks like there's a little bit of something inside. Maybe that's just dirt inside. There is definitely some dirt on the other letters. Wow, look at that. It looks like a tree. Wouldn't that be creepy if it was alive? It totally looks like there's like moss growing between the 5. I do not think I can get any closer on that. Alright, we'll put that in the maybe just so I can compare it to other things. It'll give me some homework. It's like finding something that is definitely something is a lot easier than finding something that is not something. And like looking and looking and looking, and it's harder to find it's not something because people usually only make lists of things that are things. Dun 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 dun. It's killing me, guys. It's killing me. Alright, we're just down to a stack now. I will get to bed before midnight tonight. Excellent. This one is too worn for me to be able to tell. Let's just take one more look at up north. No, it just looks like dirt. And more dirt. Thanks for looking at dirt with me, guys. Maybe we'll get lucky. We still got a couple more coins. Did we get lucky? I think we got lucky, guys. It's another one of our 1954s. I didn't even remember 54s being in this stack. But I definitely can see a piece of metal underneath the top of the S, and I can see a piece of metal below the middle of the S, and I'm guessing if we turn this on an angle, we will be able to see like the bottom serif is split somewhere. Looks like there's a little bit of toning on this one. I can just make sure that it's not, and I don't really see, I mean I can definitely see, I'd definitely say this is one, I just don't know which one it is. It kind of reminds me of the 004 we looked at, but it looks different. Huh. Cool. I believe this is a different one. Here, I can look at the 004. It's still right over here. And so see how that one comes down like really sharp? It's kind of like the exact. And the bottom of the S in this one is like super, super, super skinny. And then it's like the whole thing. It kind of looks like a snake. And then the one we just found here, it's it does skinny, but this one's got a ball serif on the end. The other one didn't, right? If it does, the ball serif is like totally worn off. It's much, much smaller, like the cool. Well, I'll take it. I'm super happy with that. Yay, we just needed a little bit more patience. And we've got another 1954S. I do see a little piece of metal under there again. What is this? Is this the same one that we were just looking at, basically? Nice. So it looks like we're finding a bunch of these 1954S's. I was going to say, wait, is this from the last box? But I put all those away. So we've got another 1954. I feel like I can see some metal. This one's definitely different than the other ones. It's like more doubled towards the bottom. I feel like I see a little piece of metal in the inner part. And maybe there's a piece of, it looks like there's an S to the north too. So it's like on top instead of coming out the, it's like counterclockwise. Cool. I don't think I've seen that one before. 40S. That one looks a little curious. See, I haven't really looked at ones from 1940S because we haven't had any ones from 1940S to look at. I see some doubling on the 9. There kind of looks like there's a piece of metal in between the top and the bottom of the S, but then there's also like kind of like gunk, so I can't see in the top. Like the bottom of that S just looks weird, but I guess like there's different S's for different years. I know, this one's still a maybe in my, oh no, I feel like I can actually see the metal on the top. But why is it there? It's like on top of the middle and on the bottom to the left of the middle. Okay, cool. We'll see if we can find maybe one like that without gunk in it. This one's got some cool toning on it. It's interesting, like how it's lighter around. It's like the luster didn't tone right around the mint mark and around the numbers. I can't. Oh, this one must be cleaned. Yeah, that one's cleaned. I can't actually. It's too roughed up. And so I guess one thing you can do sometimes, which this always seems silly, that say like you can't see the mint mark, you can actually check for die markers, different things that are on the coins. When there is an RPM, there's like other things that match the RPM in the coin where people can check. And what always seems silly to me is like, would you want an RPM which was an example of, you know, this like, you know, variety of coin, but the part that's different on the coin you can't actually see. You just can prove that it is that the coin at one point had it. I mean, I guess if like say the coin had gunk on it like this, and you couldn't see the mint mark, you could then go and clean it if you knew that it already was it. And then you wouldn't have to clean a bunch of ones that you didn't know if it was or not. Oh, I need a sip of water. We're almost done, everyone. Only a couple left. 1940S. I think it is just damage to it. I will pass. 1940S. That one kind of looks interesting. It might just be the style. It also looks like it has a scratch if you can see the super shiny part on the bottom. But it was just interesting how it went up and down. And then there's kind of like a line. But I don't feel like... Let's look at it on a different angle. I feel like these ones would be harder to spot because like the S is so much thicker that there's not a huge amount of space in between them. It's like I feel like the 54S would be easier to spot because you can actually see inside the gaps. Let's try another one. We got one more. It's that green sparkles. Do you guys see green sparkles? Or is it environmental damage and then sparkles on the flip? The sparkles, guys, or the flips that sparkle like this, they're so hard to see through. It's like they basically prevent me from getting a good focus, which is sad because this is our last one. But I think we can also see that there is some heavy corrosion inside there. And I think that if there was one, it would be really hard to see. So I think we did pull one that we were like, maybe. Let's just check it out. I'm trying to remember why we said maybe on this one. I think just because it almost kind of looked like there was a split on the bottom there. And then maybe I thought I saw something on the side. And maybe something on the north. But I don't know. I'm gonna need to... I'm not saying that this is one. I just don't know. And so I am gonna, after I get off of here, I'm gonna try to look at some 40Ss, because it seems like we're running into a lot of them in this batch. But thank you guys all for watching. I have pretty much the entire weekend off, but it is nearly midnight here, and by the time I get to bed it will be midnight, and I turn into a pumpkin after midnight, so we're going to try not to have that happen. But thank you guys all for watching. Thank you Spanglish247, thank you Trent P Fam TV, thank you Cheeky A. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name right. I do try. And thank you Wild Nature Lover, and thank you Paul. I wish you guys all wonderful nights. I'm going to get some sleep, but I'll have hopefully near 48 hours of more shows for you guys this weekend. I'm going to get some sleep, and then we're going to get back to it and see how many episodes of this show we can do this weekend. It should be fun. Hopefully we'll find some awesome coins. It was fun to find a couple more RPMs there at the end. I wasn't expecting that. It was kind of feeling like a dry box, but they are out there. So this has been fun. Thanks guys. I'll see you guys all in the future. Sweet dreams. Good mornings. Drink some coffee. Get some sleep wherever you are.